Hello soulmates, welcome back again to my channel. My name is Jenny. So today's video is the sewing part of this tutorial and is also the part 2 of this tutorial. So you can see mine, I made mine in black using this plain damask material as you can see on the screen. So you can go ahead and use any fabric and any color of your choice in making this, okay? So without wasting any of your time, don't forget to hit on the subscribe button, like and share this video. Let's get into it. Welcome back again, soulmates. So guys, I've gone ahead to cut out my fabric like I said in the last video, which is the cutting part. So if you have not watched the drafting part of this video, please go ahead and check it out. Then you come back here to join us. So I've added all my necessary stitching allowance to it. So like I said earlier, at the top of the front and the back, please don't add allowance at the top, okay? Then at the center back, also don't add any allowance. So I've gone ahead to cut out my corset mesh and also my net, as you can see. So I'm going to be using a net, and you can see the cups. So you can see I've also gone ahead to cut out my warden and also my lining for the cup. So I'm going to go ahead and join the pieces together, okay? So guys, I've gone ahead to join the pieces together, and I've also started adding my bonies so you can see. So at this part, go ahead and join it. After joining it, go ahead and top stitch it and cut off the excess. So let's take it to my sewing machine and do it together. So the first thing we are going to do is to get a strip of fabric like this. The width is 2 inches, okay? So I'm going to use this for my boning casing. So I'm using a sewable boning, which is a wedgie line boning. So I'm going to just place it like this because I'm going to place the boning on the front first of all. So the curvy part should be at the right side of the fabric like so. So after stitching it down, guys, go ahead and cover it up like this, okay? So you can see the way I'm doing it. So after stitching it up, you go ahead and wrap the fabric on the boning and stitch it up. So when you're doing this, make sure it's very neat, as in very neat. So you can see the results of what we have now, very neat, okay? I'll do as many as this. So this is where the V area is going to stop. Remember, I went up by 1 inch from the under bust when we were drafting this pattern, okay? So now I'm going to place my boning like this to get like a V at this part. So go ahead and place your boning. Now where I'm stitching on is towards the center front like this, okay? Go ahead and place another boning on top of this. So that is why we call it overlay, okay? So just lay another boning on the other one to form a V like this, a V shape. So go ahead and stitch it down. So when you are doing this, please, you have to be careful because this is not as easy as it seems to be, okay? So after getting this now, the next thing I'm going to do is to get a longer boning, okay, like this, a piece of boning, and I'm going to also place it at the midpoint or between these two boning at the upper part, okay? You can see. So just place it like this and make sure you place it neatly, very neatly, okay, at this area. So after doing that, guys, I'm going to just stitch it down to hold them together. So guys, you can see what I'm doing. Just go ahead and stitch it all the way from that point to the bottom part of this corset, okay? So when you're stitching, you stitch at the both side of the boning like this. So guys, after stitching, this is what we have. And also remember to cut out the excess thread. So you can see what that midpoint is looking like, the V area, okay? Then I'll go ahead to cut out this excess at this part. So like I said earlier, when you join this dart area together, make sure you top stitch on it before trimming off the excess, okay? So then go ahead and add all your necessary boning, as many as you like on this part with different star lines, okay, as you wish to. The making of this corset was not really easy for me because it was my first time of doing it, and this week has been so hectic for me. I've been so busy. It actually took about 2 days for me to finish this corset, okay? So you can see what I'm doing, guys. So after doing that, after attaching my bonies, the next thing now to do is to get my net. So remember, we cut out the net initially with the main patterns, but I decided to cut out this other net because I discovered that after joining the pieces together of the net is going to have a dart line. So I don't want it to have a dart line. I want it to be dartless. So I went ahead to cut out another net for it, okay? So the next thing now to do is to place the net underneath the corset like this. Then you are going to stitch at that V area, okay? That V area towards the center front like so. So after stitching it up now, the next thing now to do is to cut out that V part. You can see after cutting it, guys, you can see what we are having now. It's taking shape, okay? So the next thing is to flip the net towards the right side of the corset, okay? So just flip it like this. Now you have to just arrange this net area properly, okay? So arrange the net area properly so that you don't have like folding at that part. And also remember to work with your pin. Your pin is very, very necessary at this point. So go ahead and pin it down. So all your stitchings should be at the right side of the fabric, okay? Because we want a neat finishing at the wrong side of the fabric, okay? We want a neat finishing at that part. All your stitches should be at the right side of this corset, okay? So guys, after that, I'm going to just stitch it like this to hold down the mesh and the net together. So the essence of this net is to give you that illusion effect, okay? Like you normally see on most of the celebrity dresses. When you look directly, you will not be able to see the stitches they made on the body of the bonies properly, okay? So this net is going to cover up all those stitches, all those threads on the boning. So this is just to give you that illusion effect, okay? You can see how beautiful it's looking already, looking so beautiful. So the next thing now to do is to work on the back piece. So I'm going to rule out my star line. So go ahead and rule out your star line. So this is where I'm going to be placing my boning. Like I said earlier, go ahead and wrap your bonings with your fabric. So after wrapping, I'm going to just take it all the way like this to stitch it down. So guys, after stitching it down, this is what we are having now. So like we did for the front, I'm also going to place the net on the back like this. You can see when placing this net, it's actually giving us this vibe. I don't know if you get, there's a kind of vibe is given on this corset. So I'm going to just place it like this, and I'm going to just hold down the mesh and the net together like so. After stitching, guys, this is what we are having. Make sure you iron enough to be able to have that clean and keep the boning straight, okay? After doing that, I went ahead to cut out this fabric. The width is 4 inches, so I'm going to be using this to create the area where the eyelet is going to be, okay? So this is going to have an eyelet, not a loop. So I'm going to just fold this into two like this. So please go ahead and iron this to get the midpoint, because the crease line is very, very important at this stage. Go ahead and iron it to get the midpoint, and fold the both side of this fabric by ½ inch, so you get to understand what I'm trying to say, because it will really help you. I don't have light at this time to iron, so I have to just go ahead with this tutorial, okay? So make sure you iron enough. So I'm going to place the net at the middle of the fabric like this, okay? Then on that middle is also where I'm going to place my boning. Then go ahead and stitch it down. So guys, after stitching it down, I'm going to go in from that boning by 1/2 inch like so. So after stitching, guys, this is what we are having. You can see the two boning at that part. This is what I was saying. Go ahead and fold that part with your iron to make it easy for you. So you can see the way I'm struggling with it because I did not iron before doing this. So after folding the front and the back, go ahead and stitch up that part. Okay, stitch up the rough edges. Just fold in the rough edges like this. You can see the way I'm struggling it. So go ahead and do it properly and neatly. After doing this, you can see, so I'm still going to stitch it at the back part to be able to hold down the boning properly. Okay, when you are done stitching the front area, you also go ahead and stitch the back part of the boning. Okay, so guys, after doing that, now it's time for us to join the front and the back together. You can see how easy it is. So join the front and the back together like so with the allowance you added on your pattern. Okay, so I added 1/2 inch, so that is what I'm using to stitch down the side together. You can see, so go ahead and stitch the side, and make sure when you are stitching it, you are stitching at the right side of the fabric. So you can see what the wrong side is looking like. You can see how clean and neat. So after stitching, go ahead and top stitch, then cut out the excess. So I'm going to add my boning at that part. You can see, go ahead and add your boning at the seam area. So you can see what we are having now after adding the boning. And also at the top, go ahead and pipe the top. Okay, so I've piped this other part, and I'm also going to pipe this other area. So all your stitches should be at the front part. Okay, so you can see what I'm doing. I'm piping it towards the front area, which is the right side of the fabric. Your stitches should be at the right side of the fabrics. So guys, this is what we are having now. You can see how beautiful it's looking. So the next thing now to do is to attach the cup. So guys, I've gone ahead to cage my cup, and you can see what the inside is looking like. You can see how beautiful this cup is looking like. Okay, so after that, now the next thing I'm going to do is to open up the cup. I've stitched it at the top, that is, I've stitched the lining and the main fabric together at the top. Then at this part, you can see what I'm doing. I'm trying to stitch down the seam allowance I added for the lining inward like this. You can see what we're having now. So I went ahead to stitch up the seam allowance I left at the lining area. So stitch it up like that so that you have a neat finishing. So after doing that, I'm going to place the corset now on the cup like this. You can see, so this is the front part of the corset. So just place it on the front part of the corset like this. You can see, then stitch it underneath. You can see. So after doing this now, I'm going to flip the main fabric of the cup like this. It's time to cover up the rough part of that cup. Remember to place the wrong part of the cup at the right side of the corset. I don't know if this makes sense. This is just to give us neat finishing at the inside of this corset. Okay, so I went ahead to pin this down. So at this point, your office pin is going to be your best friend. So this part is not as easy as it seems. So please take your time when doing this, okay, to get a better result. So I've gone ahead to pin it down. You can see the other cup. So guys, after pinning the two cups, this is what they are looking like. So I'll go ahead and stitch it down and also pipe the bottom part of this corset. Okay, and I'll come and show you the final look, soulmates. So guys, this is what we are having. You can see how it's looking on me. This is the end of the part 2 of this video. This video is going to have part 3. In that part 3 video, I'm going to be teaching you guys on how to attach your yoke on this corset and how to achieve your bust caging. Okay, so I'm going to be teaching you guys all of those things. So if you're interested in that video, Don't forget to subscribe, like, and share this video, and also turn on your notification bell so that you'll be notified when I post that video. So bye, see you there.